To our daily celebration. Today, we are celebrating the USA Equal Pay Act. The USA Equal Pay Act. It was on June 10th, 1963, that the USA Equal Pay Act was signed into law. Through the effort, of course, of Peterson, and then under President Kennedy, they signed it into law, June 10, 1963. So now, what is this act all about? Equal Pay Act. What is it all about? And then what can we learn from this Equal Pay Act? Countries like Nigeria are struggling. There is tension going on, as I'm talking to you right now, between the government and the labor union. There is a very big tension going on. By this time last week, there was a strike. There was an industrial strike to that effect. They have been debating about the minimum wage. Okay, so, and the issue has not yet been resolved. So those are the things we are going to look at. Is there anything we can learn from America, especially as they mark the Equal Pay Act, which was signed into law in the year 1963, on a day like this, June 10, 1963. So we have in our midst one of the American citizens, also a civil servant who is working in America. He's here to discuss with us. And then let us compare what is happening over there in America with what is happening here in our country, Nigeria. So I have in our midst, please kindly introduce yourself.
Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. I know it's already afternoon in Nigeria. Good morning in Nigeria. And of course, it's good morning here. But in every country we are, depending on the time zone, it's good morning and good day to you all. This is Nneka Botinege. Like Father rightly said, I live in the United States of America. But I'm a Nigerian citizen by birth, by growth, by education. So I'm a true-born Nigerian. And I welcome you all to this discussion of today. Yes, today is June 10th. Is the day we celebrate the Equal Pay Act of America, made in the year 1963. And this act actually involves amending the Fair Labor Standards Act that protects against wage discrimination based on sex. So, what does this actually cover? Actually, it covers all the forms of compensations, which include salary, overtime pay, bonuses, life insurance, vacation, and holiday pay. Then again, here in the United States of America, it includes cleaning or gasoline allowances. These are for the big shops, the hotel accommodations, reimbursement for travel expenses, and benefits. And we all know that if there is an equality in wages between people of different sexes who perform substantially equal jobs, employers must raise wages to equalize pay. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they must reduce the wages of other individuals. as we continue on this discussion based on this act, we want to look at how do we substantiate this equality. Because when we do this, what are the criteria we are looking at? First and foremost, to claim this Equal Pay Act,
Sorry, call. Okay. Hello, please, I will call you back, okay? Call me back in an hour's time. Sorry, the call came in. Sorry for that. Okay, you continue. Sorry, call came in, eh?
At your experience, your ability, your education, and training required to perform the job. So, when we are claiming this equal act, we are looking at the scale. Are you really qualified? Are you trained to do this job? Do you have the ability? Again, we are looking at the effort. By this effort, there are two factors, which are the physical or mental exertion needed to perform the job. So if these two people have help, everybody should be paid equally. Then again, we are looking at the responsibility. By this responsibility, we mean the degree of accountability required to perform the same job. We all know that sometimes not everybody performs on the same level. So this is one of the factors we are looking into for equal pay. Again, we are looking at the working conditions. And what are the factors again to receive equal pay? We are looking at the physical surroundings, like the temperature. We all know here in America, the temperature matters a lot because of the 4 seasons we have during the year. So are these people working in the same conditions, the same temperature conditions, ventilation, and hazards to get the same equal pay? And finally, the establishment. Depending on the establishment, this matters a lot too. Like they hire the employees, they could set certain compensation for certain individuals in the same work locations. Having gone through this, I know in a country like Nigeria with the agitation, it could be difficult, but it does not mean they cannot do that. The government should come in and listen to people, because we know here in America, if the workers do not work and pay the taxes, we cannot run the government. The community will not benefit too. And people could be employed. And here you cannot do that job. Everybody needs to be paid. We all know what it means not to be without payment. It means it's a whole lot for this country, because most times, before even the salary is come, you've already received the salary, you've already made the payment. So someone with education where the workers are taking on strike, and they will not be paid.
So, my dear friend, and thank you very much. That is good to know. At least we are glad to hear and to learn that there is something called equal pay right. You know, from the term itself, you know, equality of payment, irrespective of your gender, irrespective of your, you know, status in the society. And moreover, people are paid according to their ability and capability. So, but at the same time, there is certain level of equality that is expected, which every worker enjoy. Let me use the word equal right. So from what our sister had just explained to us, you can sense the feeling, or you can get the feeling that there is that equal pay, equal treatment. Every worker has a certain level of respect. Am I right?
Yes, Father.
Every worker, laborer. In short, even the Bible said it, that the laborer deserves his wages. Isn't it? The laborer,
Of course.
every laborer
Of course, Father.
deserves his wages. If we could talk about equal pay act for, you know, especially gender, what stops us from talking about equal pay right for all the parastatals, all the workers, both the civil servants, public servants? Is there any way there will be justice, equilibrium in the way people receive their pay? Because it is the same transportation they are using. And most of the civil servants, let me tell you, here in Nigeria, most of the civil servants are the ones who are doing the work.
Yes, Father.
The public servants, they are doing little or nothing. They just sit in the office, enjoy their NC. And when they travel in the best of car. They have furniture allowance. They have their vehicle provided by the government. Every damn thing is provided by the government. And yet, if you know the salary they are receiving, it will shock you. You will be shocked. You will be, you know, a whole local government, a senator, what a senator is receiving. If we are to go by what they are proposing to pay the workers, 62,000 for instance, if we are to go by 16,000 minimum wage, a senator's salary is enough to pay all the workers in a local government. Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
That's all, Father. That's all. That's what it means, that the system has failed. The system has failed. Because here in America, we have what we call the Employee Act, Equal Act Opportunity, which makes sure that everybody gets well paid according to your skill, your skills, your knowledge, your accountability. If that could be done in Nigeria, I believe this could take into account all the discrimination with the pay. There's no reason why people that are really doing the job are not getting paid well, but why those that are sitting in the offices are the ones enjoying the whole payment, who do little or no job. So this really calls for concern, where the government is taking to compensate these people. They should have an equal employment act that makes sure that they do not labor in vain, if I may put it that way. And with all this, what is going on in Nigeria now, the high inflation, People complaining, they are not well fed, they could barely eat, and some people are enjoying it. That means the system has failed.
It
To
has.
be honest with you, the people at the top are the ones that using this, the one making sure these people are well taken care of. Because if they do not work and produce, they will not enjoy whatever they're enjoying. And that's why in a developed country like America, you do not joke with your workers. You dare not. You dare not. You say no, no, no. Because sometimes you can even pay with your life. I don't know if some of you do watch news. A worker can just walk in and shoot the director, the employer, who is your manager. So I strongly believe that the leadership has to look into it. It's very, very unfair. Very unfair. Especially a person like your staff has to transport him or herself, has to feed, pay bills, and have to come to work. Yet, you are not paying the person well.
Honestly, as you rightly say, it's unfair and it's a failed system. I remember if you know the price of fuel before this present regime took over power, fuel was less than 200. Now, a liter of fuel is 700. Just for you to know the margin, and then transportation fare has escalated, so, every damn thing they are selling in Nigeria now is so expensive. That 62,000 may not even be enough for some people. Just transportation alone. Transportation alone. How much am I paying my workers here? I have people who are working in the site. For instance, the carpenters. The least they can collect is 8,000. One carpenter. And most now is 10,000. I was paying 8,000 a day. A day. Before now. Now they have increased it to 10,000. Carpenters. Ordinary carpenters that are not educated. Most of them are not educated. You know what I'm talking about? They go home with 8,000. They go home with 10,000. And you expect somebody who has gone through university, somebody who is employed, and if you divide 62,000, try to divide it into 30 or 31, you will be, how much do you get? Less than 2,000 naira. With the cost of living in Nigeria, I can assure you, I'm not receiving salary. We are here speaking. We are the voice of the voiceless. Personally, it's unfair. And none of those politicians, that 62,000 you are talking about, honestly, it's not even enough for their recharge card. The calls they make, the money they use for ordinary calls, that 62,000 is not enough. How much they allocate to themselves? Now tell me, what will 62,000 do for a teacher? And they have to pay their transportation from there. So while that debate is going on, I think, was it not Reverend Father Mbaka that came up with the idea? No problem. If you people decide to pay 62,000 to the civil servant, the public servant should also receive 62,000. And it makes sense.
Sure, for sure.
It makes sense. What he said is, there is a lot of sense in what he says. And if what the civil servants are receiving is the same as what the public servants are receiving, then we sit up. That is what everybody should even agitate for. Whatever they come up as a minimum wage, let it cut across both the same. In fact, even if it means taking double of it, at least let them take double of it. 62,000. Let them pay themselves double of it and see whether they will survive. All these politicians, senators, I'm even proposing, let them take double of 62,000. We are complaining of, we are crying of cost of governance. They are just, wasting money. If I tell you how much they used to print money, oh my God, a lot of wastage here and there. Look at how much they used to settle service chiefs. How much they gave them. There are things, in fact, we have to be realistic here. These workers, we need to stand up for them, for their right. Because whatever affects the civil servants affects the general public.
Sure.
It affects them, whether you like it or not.
Of course, they cannot be benefiting from their sweat, while the people that are really sweating are getting little or nothing.
So that is a very big problem we are facing in our country today. People have to, in fact, I don't know whether they even have conscience.
Love of humanity, love of one another.
Whether they have
It
conscience.
baffles me when we that are outside the country, it's not that we don't face those challenges, but to some extent we are taken care of. Then in your own home, your people that are supposed to have your back, if they treat you that way, how do you feel?
Honestly, it's not fair. And everybody must speak out. Everybody must speak out, because all these workers, when we are talking about crime or corruption, if the workers are well paid, don't you think it will reduce the level of crime in the society? And most of them I just noticed that most of them are not happy doing the work. If you go to office, you see everybody barking like a mad dog. They are not happy.
And the productivity is reduced too when they are not taken care of.
Exactly. The workers are not happy. If you want your workers to give you the best, to deliver, then you've got to pay them well. And that is what I told my site engineer. Don't owe any laborer, because we have a target. I said, don't owe them, because when they are not happy, they will leave the work for you. You will be struggling to get laborers, because a laborer deserves his wages. As they are climbing down from that, pay them their wages. Whatever you agree with them in a day, pay them. And that's why they are happy. And occasionally I cook for them. I eat with them to make them happy, because I want to get the best from them. You see me eating with them, cooking with them, joking with them, because I want to create a conducive environment where the workers, the laborers, can put in their best. And I can assure you, they are really working hard. We are getting the best. Why can't the government learn from this? Why can't they treat their workers with respect, with dignity? There is dignity in labor. There is dignity in labor. Okay? Don't just pay people. And that's why, let me tell you another side of it. Some of them, they will make people to be dependent on them. It's also politics. They know that when people are financially viable, they can now take decision. They will impoverish the people, and the people have no option. During campaign, they will not give them indomie, give them a few cups of rice, and they will not have option and to vote for them.
Well, that's why there is little or no development then.
And there's not going to be development, not until we give honor, right to whom right is due, honor to whom honor is due. Those who are working hard, who are under the sun working, who are trekking. Some of them have to trek. Some of them have to, they need to be compensated. They need to receive their pay due for them. How do you explain?
And if, for instance, settle them too, so they can start their own establishment, employ more people. Like here in America, they do that a lot. They want you to be independent, not just almost always working for them. They want you to have a future where you can establish your own business, institutions, employ other people, and that brings about growth and development.
That is the last thing you should take off.
America, I think the government does anything for you.
That's the last.
The government wants you to do something, bring something, and build the government. That means helping you to establish, whether from small business, like they rightly call it, from your own small business, you get to the big one.
When you were giving your presentation, you mentioned overtime, payment of overtime. Who does that?
Yes.
Who does that? Who cares? If you like, kill yourself in the office. Nobody cares. Here in Nigeria, nobody cares. If you like, and that's why there are some who are working hard. Teachers, after teaching in the class, and they go home with the result, the homework, they will go, they don't even rest. Teachers don't hardly rest because they will give homework and they will take after teaching in the class, they will take the assignment back home and they will grade it. They will mark it the next day.
That's awful. That is sad.
They hardly have time for themselves. Most of the teachers here in Nigeria, they don't have time. So they work overtime. When you go to a teacher in the evening, you see her or him marking, grading these children.
They should be totally paid for that.
They are supposed to be paid, but who cares?
Sure. They should be paid for that.
And these are the people that want to be paying 62,000 as a minimum wage. So that is why we are advocating for equal pay right. How I wish everybody will come together and move the motion for equal pay right. Whatever the House of Assembly comes out or comes up, we should use that to decide their own payment. If they insist on me, I would prefer let them even double it for themselves. And you will see most of them, all this problem we're having during the election will not have it. By the time you reduce their money, all these senators, House of Rep, you will discover that most of them have nothing to give. They are not there for the interest of the masses. After paying them all those huge amount of money, sitting allowance, they will pay them. Every sitting, they are receiving sitting allowance, wardrobe allowance, traveling allowance, but the workers' welfare. And they are the ones sitting on it because they are the lawmakers. It's unfair. It's unfair. Any position you are, don't use it for your selfish interests and don't use it to victimize others. They removed the fuel subsidy. Now, who is benefiting from the fuel subsidy? They look at the first thing they did after removing the fuel subsidy. The amount, I can't even quote the amount of car they bought for each of them. I say it's enough to pay a whole local government. If we are to go buy 60,000 naira per worker, minimum wage, is enough. What they use to buy car for themselves after the removal of fuel subsidy. Who are they trying to deceive? So, I want to thank you, my dear sister, for sharing with us. At least, they copy a lot from America, but not the good things.
Sure, Father. I really know that they copy a lot.
They copy a lot, but not anything good. They don't copy the good ones.
Like you said, the individuals, the communities themselves, you come together as one. let them keep evaluating these, is it the senators, our representatives, what are they doing to help our society, our community? You need to evaluate them. They need to have a strong community. On maybe a monthly basis, they meet together. What are they doing? How are they helping us? And
People who voted for them, they don't even, where will you get them? Where will you get them? Where will you see them? They are not like a representative, House of Rep. Who are they representing? Will you even, where do you see them to interact with them? They don't even listen to the people they are representing. They are just representing themselves. They don't even listen to the people they are representing. Look at now. Everybody is speaking. Everybody is speaking. And House of Rep, those who are representing us, they are keeping quiet, or they are just messing around with the citizens. The people that voted them, that elected them, they are making life difficult for them. When the workers are not paid properly, it affects even the market woman, all those traders, because they will not be able to pay. Some of these civil servants, they buy things in credit. When they receive their salary, they can now pay. So when they now receive the salary, and the salary is not even enough for their transportation, will they be able to pay? The poor market woman will equally suffer. So what we are defending is not just the right of the civil servants, it's the right of all the citizens in Nigeria. All the citizens in Nigeria. And when we talk about economy, it is also a way of boosting the economy. When you have workers who are well paid, all this bribery and corruption we minimize. Look at our police, how they are messing themselves on the road, extorting money from the people because they are not well paid. If they are well paid, they will be contented with what they have. I know there is no way you eradicate corruption completely.
The establishment will be increased and employing more people, even if they are not settled to start something on their own, but they can improve and grow and employ more people too.
Exactly, my dear. In fact, it's a very interesting topic, and I pray that others will take it up from there, from here. Everybody should defend the right of the workers.
Of course, of course.
When a finger is stained with oil, it affects other finger. When any part of the body is crying, the eye cries along with it. Other parts of the body should cry along with it. So nobody, both the religious leaders, everybody should come together and defend the right of our workers. Okay? I think we have done justice to this topic. What we are advocating for is what happened in America. It's not something that has not happened before. Equal pay right. There should be equality of payment. There should be every damn person that is working, either as a civil servant, a public servant, they should receive equal payment. And I can assure you, with this, the lawmakers will sit up. If whatever they decide to be paid to their civil servants will also affect their own payment, I'm assuring you they will sit up. They will do the needful. Because they treat these civil servants as slaves. Okay? So, just a moment. Hello, Padre.
Good morning.
Father Alex, good morning. How are you today?
Good. I was praying.
Oh,
I was praying when you called, yeah.
Yes, I wanted us to discuss something very, very important. There is something happening in Nigeria. You must have heard it. You know, this minimum wage.
What is it?
The minimum wage. You know?
Okay.
This issue of minimum wage. I know you must have heard about it. And
I heard about it, yeah.
The government proposing 62,000 naira as a minimum wage, whereas they are receiving millions. So we are advocating for equal pay right. What can you say about that?
Yes.
Equal pay right. What can you say?
Yeah, I mean, it does not add up when somebody, I think the senators are receiving like 11 or 12 million in a month. I can't remember, but I know it's in the millions. And we go to the same market. My sister is teaching. My only sister is a teacher. She receives 50-something thousand every month. So I still have to pay for her house rent and for her care while you are working. It doesn't make sense. So let them make it flat. Let the politicians receive, they have pure minimum wage as well.
Yeah, and that is what we are advocating. Imagine if they are the lawmakers, if they are receiving whatever, minimum wage they have put in place. Nobody is above the law. Nobody is above. Nobody should be above the law. If
they are cheating us, they are cheating the masses.
They are cheating
the masses.
You are, as you rightly observe, and as you rightly say, the salary of a senator is enough to pay the salary of a whole local government. If we are to go by,
you are right. I agree.
62,000 per worker minimum wage is enough to pay a whole local government. What are you talking about?
Yes.
And then what is the service? What are the services they are rendering? What are the benefits? What are we benefiting from them? Just they will go and sit down.
They go and add electric bill, and then they buy luxurious cars, SUVs, and they go there and shout and fight over. It's no sense. There is a program, VOA, Voice of the People, on Lagos. So sometimes in Bakar, I listen to it. I mean, it's crazy what is happening in Nigeria.
Exactly. It's so disheartening. I don't know how we get into this mess. Then when they remove the fuel subsidy, each car, I don't want to exaggerate, each car they bought for a senator, a House of Rep, is enough to pay, a whole local government. If we are to go by 62,000 each minimum wage, it's enough to pay. And they now wasted, after removing the fuel subsidy, they shared it among themselves. And now, when two elephants fight, it's always the grass that suffers. The workers are always at the receiving end. So, I am not receiving salary, but I'm here to speak for the workers, the civil servants. It's unfair. How can we just keep quiet and these people are suffering? Imagine somebody, your teacher, for instance, look at it, cannot even pay her house rent. Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
It does not. It does not make any sense.
So, Father, what gave rise to this discussion is what we are celebrating today. Today is June 10th. And luckily, incidentally, it happens to be the Equal Pay Right Act. That was when the bill was signed into law in America. Equal Pay Act. So if America could sign such bill, why can't Africa, especially Nigeria, think alongside with this? If Americans could sign such a bill into law, why can't Africans, especially this country called Nigeria, why can't they start thinking in line with that? This Equal Pay Act was signed into law in the year 1963. So, and I believe such law needs to be enacted in our country, so that irrespective of your gender, irrespective of your status, whether you're a civil servant, whether you're a public servant, whatever that is good for the civil servant should equally, whatever is good for the public servants should equally be good for the civil servants. We are going to the same market, are we not?
Yeah.
It's the same market. And some of them, they have so many benefits they are getting from the government. And then they expect the poor masses to be at the receiving end. So, Father, thank you very much for your contributions. Just general advice, just before we go, your general advice, both to the government, the lawmakers, the rep, just advise them, please.
The thing is, I mean, the government should know that they are there to serve it. If they are really there to serve the people, they should do the right thing. I mean, Jesus is the servant of the servant, the humble servant. And he, first of all, he took care of his people. He fed them. He made sure he healed them. He did things that they need. So the government should as well know that they are there to serve the people, and that the people's situation should be their utmost concern, and they care for them. You are there to serve them. You are not there to enrich yourself and your family members. You are there as people's representative, and you should take care of them.
Thank you very much, Father. When we started, you didn't introduce yourself. Sorry for that. Before you go, kindly introduce yourself, please.
My name is Father Alex, who is a priest for the Archdiocese of Milwaukee in the U.S.
So thank you very much. It's good.
Always
good whenever I speak with you, because you're a man full of wisdom, always ready to share your ideas. May God bless you.
Thank you.
And some of these things you people are enjoying in the US, please, you can start transferring some.
There's no enjoyment anywhere. The inflation is Nigeria as well. However, we are alive, and we thank God.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for your sharing. May God bless you and bless your ministry. Thanks a lot.
Amen. Thank you.
Oh, we started this discussion with our sister Neka Ede. Are you still on the line?
Yes, Father.
So, did you hear what Father Alex just said, his contribution?
Yes, Father. Yes, like you said, the government or the leaders should have the interest of their workers at heart, and then for once let them try to put themselves in their shoes. If they could think that way, I believe they could make differences, make things easier for them. And because I know from my experience here in the United States of America, on a monthly basis, our leaders, they call it rounding on the employees. They ask you what is working for you, what is not working. Is there anything you want us to improve? What can I do to help you? These are the humanitarian services you render to your workers. From there, you could actually sense their being. Who are these people? What are they really going through? I believe we can do that. We can start from somewhere. Like, we cannot just keep making excuses in Nigeria. Economy is bad, it's this and that. If you can do this little thing, get to know these people, these workers, get to know them, relate to them, just call them your own brothers and your sisters, relate to them or yourself. Then from there you get to help them. I know some people don't even care. They hardly even talk to their workers. They hardly even relate to them.
Which is unfair.
You can do that.
Which is unfair. I'm telling you out of experience. Look at the church we started in a year, just a year and few months ago. A year and few months ago, we started building our church, and it's now close to completion. Close to completion. All the workers there, in fact, since they started working, I have not lost any of them. It's a place they want to come back. You know, when you treat people well,
yes.
Because there is nothing binding them. There are other sites where they can get job. But there is a way you will treat these laborers.
Of course. Of course.
They will even be the one coming to beg you to work with you. Okay? The secret of our sources, because you'll be wondering, it's not all about money. I know some parishes that have money. I know some dioceses that have money, but they have built their church for years. Everything depends on how you treat your workers. The secret, I've just discovered that when you pay your workers, the laborers, when you pay, they will deliver. They must surely deliver. You know, when we started the project, I called the site engineer. I said, look, don't owe any of these laborers. Don't owe any of them. As they are coming down, make sure you pay them their wages, because a laborer deserves his wages. When you see how these young men are working, you know that Nigerians are hardworking.
Of course, we are.
They are hardworking.
I'm proud of Nigerians.
They are hardworking. I have proven it. I have used this project to prove to the world that Nigerians are hardworking. It depends on. It depends on
even
how
in the United States, Nigerians are absolutely doing very well.
How you treat your workers, your laborers, your workers. That is when they will bring out their best. Some of you may think that I'm a foolish man, because it's not part of the agreement that I should be feeding them. It's not part of the agreement. We agree on pay, they pay. You pay them, they go. But occasionally I cook. And we eat together, we joke together, we pray together, and then they are putting in their best.
And Father, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Because like I keep mentioning here in America, the boss, they celebrate even your birthday.
Okay,
sometimes they buy breakfast, they buy lunch,
you see?
They make sure the break rooms are stocked, the refrigerators are working. If they ask for water, fresh, they bring them. And you see people are happy, working hard. So that is what you're doing.
Why can't we? And that is what we should keep campaigning. Not just because we are showing an example, we are laying, all these things you people are learning over there. When you come back to Nigeria, put them into practice. It's not just enough to enjoy it over there. When you come back to Nigeria, when you have opportunity, that's why I connected both of you, those of you in America, so that you, from your experience over there, I don't know the kind of human beings we have here in Africa. Are you sure they are human beings? At times they behave like animals. They don't even, because when you treat your fellow human being like a human being, the person will behave like human being. When you treat people bad, you like animal, they bring out the animal in them. Why can't we treat people with a respect? At least show love.
Show love.
It doesn't take much. It doesn't take
at
much.
All.
And you will get the best out of them. Money is not everything. The most important thing is you have your work delivered, and they are happy. When your workers are happy, you will be happy. The child, what I said, will not sleep. A child that said the mother will not sleep, will the child sleep? When you don't want your workers to be happy, you yourself will not be happy. You will not be happy. The insecurity we are having in our nation today is because of all this greed. Everybody is backing, everybody wants to get money at all costs because the government is not paying well. People are being kidnapped for ransom because there is no money in circulation and things are very, very expensive. Cost of living so high. Look at the road, 60 mm, 3 pieces of 60 mm. I was just thanking God that we have completed our decking. Just 3 pieces of 60 mm, 490 something thousand. 3 pieces of road. Now, so salary, imagine if we had to go by minimum wage. So that means no civil servant will ever dream of building a house.
I know.
No civil servant, because 5 pieces of rod is not even enough. Their minimum wage is not even enough to acquire 5 pieces of rod. It doesn't make sense. It's unfair.
It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
And then
love each other.
why we advocate for livable salary for our workers? Our workers should equally put in their best. To whom much is given, much is expected. Because it's a circle. The way the government are maltreating the workers are equally maltreating the traders. so the whole thing is a chain. Okay?
It's a chain reaction.
Yes, it's a chain reaction. Everybody's backing, nobody, Then those in traders, they are also hacking their prices. Everybody wants to make life difficult for others. What do you people get?
That's sad. I don't know why we
my
feel
fellow
to care for
Nigerians,
each other.
what do we gain by making life difficult for ourselves?
For your own. That's what I said. If here
What do we
in America we live with other people that are taking care of us, what of your own people? Your own person.
Why can't we make life easy for others and easy for ourselves? When you make life easy for others, you are making life easy for yourself. What goes round comes round. You may make a lot of money from the sales. You are selling building material. You want to make all the profit. Remember, the landlord will increase his house rent. And then the landlord who increases house rent for traders. Oh yeah, the landlord, won't you go to market to buy food? The traders, after paying you a huge amount of money for house rent, they will wait for you in the market. That's why I said it's all in circle. Greed everywhere. Greed. Not only the government now. Every damn person in the street is just greed. Because they want to make money at all costs. They want to exploit people. So that is what we are advocating for. The Equal Pay Act. You people should share this discussion. I want it to go, let it reach to those concerned. Not this type of, you will neglect it, it will just remain on the platform. The worker, just be the voice of the voiceless. I have done my part by planting. You have heard the view of Nigerians in diaspora, especially those of them in America, where there is this Equal Pay Act. We can move for this motion if we get it, because idea rules the world. Keep sharing it until it gets to some of the lawmakers. The reasonable ones, they can push for this bill. If they can get this bill signed into law, the way it was signed into law in America, I believe all this problem will be a thing of the past. There will be no strike. There will be no insecurity. Everybody will be happy. The right of the workers will be respected. The workers' right, everybody will be happy. If you want to build a happy nation, the solution to it is we are practicing democracy. Equal Pay Act is the way forward. Equal Pay Act. Whatever the lawmakers agree, no problem. They are our lawmakers. We respect them. But whatever they come up as a minimum wage should be what everybody will be paid for. Both the public servant and the civil servant. How many of you, those who are in agreement, say aye? And those who, okay, we have gotten one vote. How many of you are in agreement that whatever the lawmakers come up as minimum wage, that is what all the workers should be paid with. The public servants should be paid with the same minimum wage, or if possible, let them even increase their own, double their own, just double, times 2 of whatever they agree as a minimum wage. We are okay with that. Personally, I'm okay with that. If they say 62,000 for civil servant, let them double it times 2, but let it not be more than 2. Public servant, let's see whether they will not sit up. So how many of you are in support of this bill? Equal Pay Act. Equal Pay Act. How many of you are in support of this bill? And keep talking about it, keep sharing it until it gets to the, not all the lawmakers are God-fearing. And not all the lawmakers are reasonable. Some of them are just selfish. And they are not going to remain on this seat forever. Whatever law they are doing now will still affect them in the future, in the near future. Or it will, even if it doesn't affect them, it will affect their family members. We should not be selfish. So, okay, we are getting more vote. We are getting more vote from UK. So now, keep sharing this until it gets to the people that reasons like human beings. By Equal Pay Act, I mean, let whatever the lawmakers come upon, they are free to decide whatever, even if they insist on 62,000 minimum wage, but let it be the same thing they are going to receive, or at most let them double it, and let it be all that they will get. Let them double it, and let's see whether this country will not move forward. Equal Pay Act. Every worker, whether civil servant, whether public servant, should receive the same, or whatever the civil servants receive should also affect the payment of the public servant. That is my move, and that is what I'm advocating for. How many of you are going to join me to push for this Equal Pay Act? We are learning from USA. We are taking a lead from USA. Today is June 10th. To celebrate, to commemorate what happened in the year 1963. When Americans came together and passed a bill into law, signed a bill into law, advocating for Equal Pay Act. It's not new. It's not new. It's not something new. We can learn from other countries.
Several developments have been taking place.
Yes.
Everybody is now happy.
Everybody is happy. The workers are happy. Not every time we are talking about minimum wages, push this bill, who are going to sponsor this bill until it gets to the lawmakers. We have few of them who are God-fearing. Those of them who have conscience, may God use them to sponsor this bill, to get this bill signed into law. Once again, thank you, my dear sister, for sharing with us.
You're welcome, Father. Thank you too for giving me the opportunity.
So keep praying for our country, Nigeria. One day we shall get there.
Amen.
We are the ones to rewrite the history of this country. We are the ones to get it right. And the best way to get it right is be the voice of the voiceless, the defender of the defenseless. So God bless you all, and thank you for joining us in today's discussion. May God bless you. And once again, I wish you happy Equal Pay Act.
Thank you, Father. Thank you.